People say MMOs make you antisocial. You know, the games where you sit in a dark room and talk to no one. Well, for me, MMOs made me talk to people. But for that story, I need to go back to the beginning. So, let's rewind for a second. When I took a plunge into my first MMO. But before we start, I was absolutely terrified. Why? Because there's gonna be other people, and I went in anyway. A fresh new beginning, I thought to myself. Well, the second I look around, I get terrified. Why, you may ask? Well, there's more people than I guessed. These strangers were everywhere. They were running around, they were emoting with each other, social interacting, they were just talking to each other, whispering, whatever, dancing, throwing out heart emotes. So, the next best thing my introverted ass thought of doing was, well, queuing into a dungeon. Yes, you heard that right. My first instinct was, alright, let's just force the social interaction. The first thing I thought, I'm gonna ruin 3 strangers' evening. And when that queue popped, oh my god, my whole body was shaking and my heart popped out my chest with me. But I clicked it anyway. So, the dungeon starts. Okay, a cutscene. That is new. Should I skip it? Should I make people wait for me? Will something happen? Does something happen? I didn't know that at this point. I didn't know what I should expect. But then, something unexpected happened. Something I didn't have on my radar. Something I never would have thought about. It's this little thing. Someone. Hi. I stared at it is it a greeting? A spell? Am I supposed to do it back? Eventually I typed hi and hoped it was socially acceptable. And what did I get back? 2 more highs. A small greeting, nothing major, no. But that moment from 11 years ago, that stuck with me till this day. So we went on our merry way, while we went pack for pack, boss for boss, further deeper into this dungeon. I realized something. This is actually very nice and very comfortable. Not a dungeon, but just being with people in this space. No one is mad at you for not being perfect. Sure, someone will talk bad about you, but instead of in real life, that you have to listen to it, you can just mute, block, and whatever. You can kind of focus on the good parts. Once you're confident, you can even talk with people who don't know nothing but talking bad about you. And I realized something. One thing about Final Fantasy, or MMOs in general, was how structured interactions in MMOs are. You're not expected to just walk up to someone and invent a conversation. People greet each other, people ask for help, people explain things. There's always context. You don't have to be charismatic, you just have to respond. And responding is way easier than starting from nothing. Everything happens in the text, which meant I had time. I could think before replying, or rewrite a message, decide not to send something off if it felt off. No one noticed, there was no pressure to be fast or clever or confident. Just clear, and clear was something I could do. Another huge thing, eventually those skills leaked into real life. I got better at taking turns in conversations, better at explaining myself, better at not panicking every time I spoke. Not because I magically became confident, but because I'd already practiced. MMOs didn't fix me, they just gave me reps. And reps worked. Because if you do something often enough, you become confident at it. we're back at the beginning. There's this idea that MMOs isolate people, that they pull you away from the real world and somehow make you worse at dealing with it. And sure, everything can do that if it completely takes over your life. But for me, MMOs were the opposite. They bridged, they were the place where I learned how to exist socially without feeling overwhelmed all the time. Inside an MMO, I could see both sides of people, the good, the bad, and the harm they could cause, but without the immediate repercussions of the real world. If something went wrong, no one was staring at me, no one was judging me, no one was judging my body language. I could make mistakes, learn from them, and try again. MMOs didn't replace social interactions for me, they prepared me for it. They gave me a space to practice being a human before I had to do it where everything felt permanent and everything mattered. And that made all the difference to me. So yeah, MMOs didn't ruin my social skills. They gave me structure, safety, and practice, and eventually confidence. If you grew up feeling like conversations were confusing, social rules felt made up, and everyone else seemed to know something you didn't know, you're not broken. Sometimes you just need a different tutorial. And for me, the tutorial was wiping in my first dungeon, joining my first guild, and slowly learning, pull by pull, how to talk to people. Hello, Postcut Ezreal here. Thanks for watching the whole video if you come to this point. If you have been enjoying it, I would really appreciate a like, a comment, and maybe a subscription. And if you have something to say, even if it's bad, if it's constructive criticism, shoot it into the comments. I am open for criticism because I'm completely new to this. So, thank you and have a good one. See you in the next video. Bye!